for a number of villagers. What a pity the young man had got himself involved with that evil vixen Diana who had shared his office. Now Ian was under lock and key and probably ruining the day he ever met her. After some consideration, James decided that as he had already paid for the plans, they might as well go ahead with the work. After a few telephone calls, he had called in some favours from the builders who'd constructed James's own home a couple of miles away. The owner of the firm had recently died, but his two sons had carried on the business and were happy to oblige. They'd completed the terrace during the winter months and installed a number of wide glass doors that ran the length of the dining room. James's chest had swelled on seeing those doors open for the first time. It had been such an inspirational idea, and even now that wonder stayed with him as he watched Paul push the doors fully open to connect the dining room with the garden beyond. The sunshine poured in, and he could hear Pat Boone's April Love drifting from the wireless. The grounds were undergoing the final preparations for the May Day fair. In the distance, men were fixing the last bolts and screws to the rides of the fairground. The rides extended along one side of the field and included a wonderful merry-go-round with vibrant painted horses, an exhilarating swing ride, a strongman gauge and robust bumper cars, always a popular choice with everyone. The children had their own miniature versions of the same rides. Dotted here and there were a number of smaller side stalls for those who wished to win a coconut or play hoopla. He heaved a satisfied sigh. The glorious weather added to his benign mood, and he looked forward to what promised to be another enjoyable May Day celebration. At the far end of the field, a number of vehicles trundled in and parked in an orderly line. They comprised ice cream vans, candy floss and toffee apple vendors, hot dog stands and lemonade bars. For once, Beth had decided she'd take a complete rest from contributing to the Women's Institute catering and, at first, James had felt a little disappointed, as he loved her lemon drizzle cakes and homemade elderberry wine. But he completely understood why. The Women's Institute reigned supreme in Cavendish, and their marquee tent was already crowded with women of all ages scurrying in and out with homemade jams, scones, cakes and pastries, eager and ready for the fair's annual competitions. They were unlikely to miss a lemon drizzle cake. Oi, oi! A feeling of comfort always flowed through him when he heard the familiar Cockney tones of his good friend Bert Briggs. He turned to greet him. "Ah, Bert, you're looking very chipper today." "I love it, mate, love it. You can't beat the May Day shindig, can you? Looks like you're going to have a full house today. Weather's done you proud too." "Yes," said James, scanning the cloudless sky. "Couldn't have asked for a better day. I hear you're helping Donovan out with the drinks." Donovan Delaney, the local publican, was a stalwart of all village festivities and ensured he had all the local beers on tap for his thirsty customers. "Yeah, we've set a beer tent up between the WI and a platform for the Morris men. Have you got an order for what's happening? I don't want to miss anything." James pulled out a slip of paper from his shirt pocket. "Yes, here we are. We officially open at midday and kick off with the school band. Then we have the egg and spoon races, donkey derby and such like throughout the day. Oh, and before anything, the children are doing a dance to introduce the May Queen. Peter Mitchell's lent us his open-top lorry to bring her in. I believe the villagers have made a good job of transforming the vehicle into something fit for a princess." James turned the paper to continue reading. "The Morris men are performing some traditional May Day dances. In the WI tent we have the judging for best cake, scones, chutney and all that, with the best home-brewed wine in the beer tent. Plant and vegetable judging is taking place at around 3, I think." "What's going on here?" Bert said, waving a hand at the classy dining area around him. "Ah, well, Didier has prepared a special May Day menu."